Good afternoon. It's 79 degrees in Richland Center at 12:11. For WRCO News, I'm Joanne Krulotz. The missing swimmer from Richland Center has been identified. Sauk County Sheriff Chip Meister says the body of Luis Miguel Lopez Jimenez, 24, of Richland Center, was found Monday morning washed up on a sandbar in the Wisconsin River, approximately 2 miles downriver from where he was reported missing on September 1st while swimming with friends. Again, the missing swimmer, whose body was found near Spring Green, is Luis Miguel Lopez Jimenez, 24, of Richland Center. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump showcased starkly different visions for the country on abortion, immigration, and American democracy as they met for the first time Tuesday for perhaps their only debate before November's presidential election. The high-pressure matchup after tumultuous campaign summer offered Americans their most expansive look at a campaign that's been dramatically changed just hours before the first early presidential ballots will be distributed. The pair outlined sharply opposite visions of where the nation is and where they intend to take it if elected. Harris promised tax cuts aimed at the middle class and said she would push to restore a federally guaranteed right to abortion overturned by the Supreme Court 2 years ago. Trump said his proposed tariffs would help the U.S. stop being cheated by allies on trade and said he would work to swiftly end the Russia-Ukraine war, even if it meant Ukraine didn't achieve victory on the battlefield. Civic Media political editor Dan Schaefer says Vice President Kamala Harris won last night's debate, not just on style, but also on substance.
I think on substance, on style, on so many different aspects, Kamala Harris had Donald Trump on his heels really from the very beginning, and he was never really able to recover. And it just felt like the same rambling Trump show that we've seen so many times over the last 8 or 9 years. There are a number of issues that people really care deeply about that Harris spoke to in a really substantive way. And I think we saw Donald Trump, just constantly falling back into conspiracy-laden nonsense.
Schaefer says Harris's performance will make the most favorable impression on undecided voters who are just starting to pay attention to the race, as Trump played to his base of supporters, while Harris spoke more effectively to swing voters. Election time is fast approaching. From now until November 5th, we will continue to see and hear political advertisements created by a candidate's campaign staff. These ads are usually funded through donations. Another group that advertises to support or go against a candidate are political action committees, also known as PACs. Michelle Reinen is with the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
Something we're definitely going to see this fall is that election coverage. We've already seen plenty of it and all those ads out there, but there's thousands of political action committees or PACs that are registered with the Federal Elections Commission or the FEC. And these PACs can fundraise and solicit donations to campaign for or against candidates that are running for office and even, public action or political issues. So more they can run those issue campaigns. But because of that, we're going to see those bad actors, scammers out there that will create fake PACs.
There are various things to be aware of to avoid financially supporting a PAC scam.
Really, we think of them as the ill-intentioned PACs. They solicit donations, but little to no money raised is spent on the political campaign itself. Again, whether that's to support a candidate or a particular issue. Instead, PAC scammers pocket this money for themselves, and sometimes a single scammer might create dozens of fake individual PACs at one time. They often ask for small donations totaling less than $200 so they can avoid disclosing donor information to the FEC, which makes that harder for law enforcement officials to identify them and their victims. And they may even disguise their PAC as non-PAC charities to solicit these well-intentioned donations, or so they are claiming. In some cases, these PAC scammers claim that they'll match contributions to attract donors that could be excited to support that cause or candidate. And so these are all things we want to make sure that consumers are watching for.
Modern technology can also be used by PAC scammers to help solicit money.
We know that some PAC scammers may utilize voice cloning technology, that AI that's out there, to mimic a political candidate's voice, which could lend legitimacy to the operation, or they may even try and imitate a celebrity voice to entice people as well.
PAC scams not only use political candidates to try to make money, but also claim to support other organizations and issues as well. Michelle Reinen recommends the best way to give your support.
It could be that candidate's campaign, it could be an issue campaign, it could be religious, it can go many different directions. And so we really recommend that you donate to candidates and organizations through their official websites, not to someone who's just called you over the phone or sent you an email or a text message or even connected with you via social media. Be sure you are being the initiator of the contact rather than responding to that contact.
You can visit fec.gov to learn more about any PAC and how it spends its money, or if it actually is registered with the Federal Election Committee. Also, if your phone number is on the Wisconsin Do Not Call registry, please keep in mind that phone calls requesting charitable donations are exempt from no-call requirement. If you have been scammed or suspect a scam, you can contact DATCAP's Consumer Protection Hotline by phone at 1-800-422-7128 or by email at datcphotline@wi.gov. Senator Tammy Baldwin says Wisconsin may have fewer doctors if abortion isn't codified nationwide. Savannah Tomei Olson reports.
A new report from Baldwin's office shows the impact overturning Roe v. Wade had on Wisconsin. Multiple studies have shown that people going to med school are less likely to choose states with abortion bans. Med schools here in the Badger State had a 10% drop in applications after the Dobbs decision overturned Roe.
We are going to have severe issues in serving the needs of women in the state of Wisconsin.
Baldwin sponsors the Women's Health Protection Act, which would codify Roe v. Wade nationwide. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson.
Baldwin's opponent, Eric Hovde, supports an abortion ban after 12 to 14 weeks of pregnancy and says voters in each state should put the question to a referendum. The Richland County Board of Supervisors will be considering the 2025 budget. Richland County Administrator Candace Pesch presented the proposed 2025 county budget to members of the Richland County Executive and Finance Committee last night. The preliminary budget revenue and expense is $42.5 million. The revenue includes taxes from sales tax, interest on taxes, and MFL forest crop. The tax levy, which funds the gap between revenues and expenses, state aid, regulation, and compliance payments in the form of fines, forfeitures, and various fees, public charges for service and fees, and investment income. The largest portion of revenue comes from public charges for services. It is 38% of the revenue, or over $16 million. Expenses for the county include general administration, public safety, health and social services, and Pine Valley, the Tri-County Airport, highway administration, culture, which includes libraries and the county fair, public areas, which includes snowmobile trails, county parks, and Simons, the extension office, natural resources and land conservation, county planning and development, debt service payments, and capital projects. The largest expense to the county is public safety. It represents 50% of the expenses, or $21.2 million. Budget highlights include an increase in investment income of $150,000, a 5% wage pool to offset a wage study being integrated into the current budget, and a reduction in short-term borrowing for capital improvement projects of $408,800. No general fund balance, contingency funds, or ARPA funds were used to balance the budget. This budget, as presented, does not include a request by Sheriff Clay Porter for an additional patrol deputy, which would allow the department to fill the position of court security. Porter stated that the court security is required by state statute, and Pesch said that it has been ordered by the state Supreme Court. This position would increase the budget by around $50,000. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources reminds hunters to know their target and understand the difference between elk and white-tailed deer this hunting season. Elk occasionally venture outside of Wisconsin's two elk ranges, especially during the fall breeding season. Positively identifying the target ensures the safety of other people and avoids accidental shooting of non-target animals. Know how to identify an elk. Adult elk are larger than adult deer. An adult elk stands about 1 to 2 feet taller than an adult deer at the shoulders. An elk calf will be about the same size as an adult white-tailed doe, but will display similar coloration to adult elk. Spot the difference in the antlers. White-tailed deer antlers curve forward, whereas elk antlers are larger and sweep back from their heads. Look for color markings. Elk have a tan rump patch, black legs, and a dark brown mane. Deer have legs the same color as their bodies, a white throat patch, and a fluffy white tail. Elk moving throughout the state may have additional noticeable markers, including colored ear tags or tracking collars. These collars are fixed around the neck and are typically orange in color, sometimes with a visible printed number. See the differences between elk and white-tailed deer using the DNR's comparison guide. Any elk taken without a tag may result in a fine and a revocation of hunting licenses. An appeals court has ruled that a Wisconsin teenager accused of killing a 10-year-old girl will be tried as an adult. The teenager, identified in court documents only as CTPB, was charged as an adult with first-degree intentional homicide and 2 counts of sexual assault in connection with the April 2022 death of Ileana Lily Peters. Prosecutors say the boy, who was 14 at the time, persuaded the girl to leave a trail and explore the surrounding woods as she was riding her bike home from her aunt's house in Chippewa Falls. A circuit judge refused a request from the teenager's attorneys earlier this year to move the case into juvenile court. The 3rd District Court of Appeals upheld that ruling Tuesday. The Richland Hospital and Clinics has been celebrating its centennial to celebrate its 100 years of service to the community. Bruce Raisler is the CEO at the Richland Hospital and Clinics.
100 years, it is a huge milestone. It's a great time to reflect on the past, those who have come before us and made organized healthcare in our community available to us, and at the same time contemplate our future as well. So it's a remarkable milestone.
Festivities will culminate this Sunday at Crosscut Park.
The culmination of our year of celebration is Sunday, September 15th. We have an event that will occur at the Crosscut Park. It starts at 10 a.m. with a 5K and 1 mile. For those who aren't intrigued with the 5K fun run or walk, I love the notion that our 100-year anniversary here has this health promotion aspect to it. And my vision is that we get everybody in the community that can manage to go out for a nice Sunday morning stroll starting at 10. At 11, we'll have a brief program. There will be food available. There will be music, a time to reminisce and connect with neighbors and friends in the park.
The free One Walk is open to everyone to thank community members and encourage a healthy, active lifestyle.
If you are interested in participating in the fun walk or run, we encourage people to go to our hospital website, www.richlandhospital.com. At the top, there is an icon you can select that says Events, and that will lead you to registration. If you sign up in advance, you will be eligible for a free T-shirt. If you don't meet the deadline for that, come anyway, because it'll be a fun time, and you'll be eligible to participate in the walk or run for sure.
Raisler says more historic information about the hospital is also available on the website.
If you have an interest in history of our organization, and I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing, again, on our website, richlandhospital.com, under the About Us icon, there is a section about our history. There's a really well-done timeline of the past 100 years for our organization and what was going on in society. And there's photos and testimonials of some of our current staff who are long-serving, and some history about our organization there.
The Centennial Celebration will take place at the Killian Meyer Building at Crosscut Park this Sunday beginning at 10. If you are not into running or walking, come anyway. Free of charge, food, refreshments, cake, lawn games, and music will be provided. Flags in Wisconsin are flying at half-staff today to honor those who lost their lives on 9/11. Governor Tony Evers has also declared a state day of service and remembrance, encouraging Wisconsinites to give back to their neighbors and communities. Today marks 23 years since al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked passenger planes and crashed them into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, while passengers on a fourth plane fought against the hijackers, leading it to crash in rural Pennsylvania. In total, 2,977 people, including 343 firefighters and 72 law enforcement officers, died in the attacks, and thousands more were injured. The 167th Vernon County Fair will be held today through Sunday at the Vernon County Fairgrounds in WRCO. Today is Exhibit Day. Also today, there will be a 9/11 tribute tonight at 7 and a Murrah Rose Remembrance Walk honoring lives lost to addiction at 7:30. Tomorrow will feature an antique farm tractor pull at 6, followed by a farm modified truck and tractor pull. There will be judging each day along with any entertainment on the Bob Frederick Free Stage. There will also be rides provided by Mr. Ed's Magical Midway. Daily admission, excluding grandstand events, is $10 for adults 16 and older and $5 for seniors 65 plus and children 6 to 15. Children 5 and under are admitted for free. Friday is also Children Youth Day, where children 12 and under are admitted for free. Season passes, excluding grandstand events, are available at a cost of $20 for individuals 16 and older and $10 for ages 6 to 15. There is also an inclusive season pass available, which includes a grandstand events for $30. You can find a full list of events on VernonCountyFair.com. The tornado sirens in Richland Center will be tested today. Each siren will be tested separately, so sirens will be heard throughout the day.